These are the men of the 21st Battalion 2nd Division of the Australian Imperial Force just a few days after fighting in the Hamel offensive. The Hamel offensive was the first Australian-led operation of World War I. Front and centre amid the haul of captured weapons and equipment is a 7.7cm Model 96 field cannon. After a long life in the outdoors in Ararat, Victoria as a public display, it was almost sold for scrap metal before being rescued by a collector. It has since been acquired by the Australian Armour and Artillery Museum and put into Al's workspace. He's already restored quite a few World War I guns, but the historical significance of this piece makes it really important to get right. Last time, Al finished tidying up the trail. There's a little bit of grinding to do to smooth it out, but he'll get onto that before he starts the paint job. Here, Daryl is giving Al a hand with straightening out the frame for the axle tree seat armrest. The original ones we have in the museum have these covers on them. This is to stop the crew riding in these front seats having anything caught in the wheels while they're travelling.
We've made up the side panels, which are all pretty well much the same as what originally was on it. It's got a wide edge around the circle here and a wide edge down the back there, a 4mm wide edge. And all that does is just offers a bit of stiffening to the metal so it doesn't flop around and gives it a nice edge. Basically what we're going to do now is just all these little clips I've made up, we'll put them over the side, prop rivet them on, and then yeah, Bob's your uncle, the panels are on. These are all original frames and there's no holes in them, so they had to be clips.
Had to have been clips.
Yep. Like that. We'll get a little piece of steel behind here and you can just tap those and just flattens them out. And just give those little tap round later with a hammer. There we go. Get the grinder and I'll just grind that little taper on that.
You might have seen that there's another gun in the background. Al will be restoring this one next. He's also using it as a reference. Now Al is going to build the trail toolbox cover. Before being rescued from the scrappers, this is what the gun looked like. As you can see, someone has tied blocks of timber to the trail to strengthen it. After it was acquired by renowned collector Rodney Bellars, the trail was partially restored, but the project was put on hold indefinitely until it was acquired by the Australian Armour and Artillery Museum. Luckily, Al has already restored a few guns that are very similar to this, and we can reference the other one we have here in the workshop.
This will be cut basically across there, around, go back up. That's just a rough idea how it's got to happen. This one will be cut across there, and then we measure there, we measure there. And that'll come down on the angle like that to follow the profile of the chassis. And that'll come down like that, same thing, right? we have to cut a hole in there like that. That gives you access into the toolbox. .235 on this end, 235 and 303. That should give me 235. Pretty close. Happy with that? Yep. Right here. Yep. Should be right. Need a bit of light under it. Yeah, they're marking all right. Cut that one. Yep, got it all in.
The holes are quite big, so Al drills in pilot holes to make it easier for the larger bit.
I wish I could. Every day we make.
Now he test fits it with the bolts. This will also hold it in place as he makes the next few measurements.
Look at that.
She fits.
Perfect. That's the angle we want. Yeah. Do that one. Yep, that's better. Okay. Because I've got that edge there, that's another mill and a bit. So I've got to go in near about, oh, a good 3-4 mil.
Since the Hamel gun has so much documented history around it, we felt that it was important to incorporate some original pieces that it was missing. So the gun we've previously shown will be donating some parts, like this lid. We've found that a lot of bits and pieces on these guns are stamped with a date, and we've also found that it's very unusual to have a complete gun with all its original parts intact. Swapping things over like this was very normal practice. Al will fabricate everything we use on this project, so don't worry about the other one being incomplete.
Just like that. Yeah. Getting there.
You'd think it was laser cut in a steel factory. Al's work is very clean. The original has had a lip for the lid pressed into it. We don't have any tools or machines that could do something like that, but Al has a plan to make it out of a strip of metal.
Yeah, beautiful. Doing that one there. I'll take this over in the vise.
Looks alright, Al?
Yeah. Good. There you go. Beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah. We're going to have to do a little bit of grinding here to get that pin in. But
Bit of massaging there.
yeah.
These are brackets for the gunner's seats. Al's going to be working on them next. As you can see, Al has filled in the heads of these bolts with weld and then grinded them smooth. This will give the impression of rivets while still being practical to work with. There's a little bit more adjusting to do and he still has to prime these new pieces, but I think you can agree Al's care and attention to detail in this project is a joy to watch. That's all we have time for today. Be sure to join us next Wednesday for your weekly tank restoration fix. So until then, I'm Kurt from Oz Armour, and I'll see you on the next one.
Beautiful.